Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, I had a voice radio. So today, we're going to be looking at the top 10 GXs in the Pokemon trading card game. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's been around about 4 or 5 months since we updated this list. It is time for an update, and that's where I come in. Now, this does get more and more difficult as time goes by, because there are some cards, Lurantis-GX, which I am convinced have a huge amount of potential, but just never see play. At this stage, it's fair to say that Lurantis-GX, it appeared on some of my earlier lists, and I still think it's got a lot of potential, but it's just not good enough. But we've still got to deal with new GXs, think DIALGA-GX, which just has not had very much time to actually get rolling. We haven't seen much about it, so maybe it will end up being really good, maybe it won't. So we need to figure out where that goes in. The old cards on this list I feel very good about, the new ones are on there for potential, but ladies and gentlemen, it's the best we can do. Now, here is a top 10 list that we had last time we did it a few months ago. And you can see there that we had Zoroark and Tapu, LELE 1 and 2. And some of those Pokemon have remained good, and some of those Pokemon have completely dropped off the map. I will show you, as we go through this video, where they ranked last time around. So, starting off with number 10, just clinging on to his place on the list, it is DRAMPA-GX. Drampa used to be part of the best deck in the format, along with Garbodor and Espeon-GX. Nowadays, it's nowhere near as good as it used to be. It has started making a bit of a comeback lately. Some players have been topping with this card, but it really has been more the exception than the rule. We love being able to do 20 damage and discard special energy for 1 colorless energy. We love that you can use double colorless energy, or any energy you like, meaning it will fit into any deck. We love that Berserk does 150, 180 with a choice band, if you've got any damaged Pokemon on your bench, and we love that Big Wheel gives us a new hand of 10 cards. But if you really want to know how far Drampa has dropped, just consider the fact that we used to play stuff like Po-Town just so we could do the extra damage with Berserk. Nowadays, even where Drampa's played, we don't play stuff like Po-Town because Drampa's there as a helper, not as the focus of the deck. In at number 9, DIALGA-GX. Now, this is one of the ones we are taking on faith a little bit, because it's got so much potential. But we've only had it for a couple of weeks. We don't know how great it's going to be. Now, of course, we do have Magnezone here to get it rolling, and it's probably got the best GX attack we've seen so far. 150 damage, and you immediately take another turn. Now, it's for a lot of energy, but Magnezone means it's not the end of the world. This should be a straight one-of in any Magnezone deck ever. Add a choice band, you're up to 180, and the theory here is, the hope is, you get, say, a KO on something like a Tapu Lele, you take 2 prizes, but then you immediately have another turn to go and do your thing. I should mention you can also use Devoured Field. That'll put it up to 190 and put BUZZWOLE in range, which is quite nice. Maybe this card will be amazing. Maybe it will never see much play, but I think the potential alone puts it on this list. And that's before we talk about Overclock, which is a great attack. Draw until you got 6 cards in your hand. Use it in the early game if you've got nothing. And then again, Shred can hit a Pokemon even if they've got protection. Potential rather than proof, but good enough for number 9. In at number 8, we have got Golisopod, 4 places lower than it used to be. It can still do 120 damage for just a single energy as long as you became active this turn, and it's still good to partner with ZOROARK-GX. The problem here is this has really fallen off the map a little bit because Zoroark is just so good with everything. Golisopod Garbodor was a good deck around about the end of last format, right before the rotation, but that went away pretty handily, and now it's just really good with Zoroark. But Zoroark's also good with Weavile. And Zoroark's also good with the new Lucario-GX, and so on and so forth. The point is, we've got other options. Tordoreklev did just win the special event in Prague with Golisopod Zoroark. It is still a good card, but it's just not the be-all and end-all. It is not the great card it used to be, which is why it's falling down this list. Speaking of cards that made the final at the World Championship last year, in at number 7, we have GARDEVOIR-GX. GARDEVOIR-GX is one of those cards where everything about it is good. It's got 230 HP, it's low for a stage 2, but that's still a lot of HP. It's got an ability that allows you to attach an extra energy during your turn. It's got a GX attack that allows you to recover 10 cards from your discard. And it can do 30 damage for every energy attached to both active Pokemon. And between Secret Spring allowing you to attach extra energy and double colorless energy, this builds up very, very quickly. This was also, I'm sure you're not surprised to hear at this stage, paired with Zoroark, it won the Oceania International Championships. Why only number 7? Because lately, people have been going for faster, more consistent lists than ones with Gardevoir. Gardevoir just is not topping tournaments regularly at the moment. Sure, it's getting the odd top cut here or there, it's not gone away. But when the new Solgaleo comes out in a couple of months, it should pretty much be the final nail. I don't know if Gardevoir will even end up on the next top 10 list. It is falling like a stone, but it's clinging on at number 7. In at number 6, GLACEON-GX. Now this actually has already seen a little bit of success. In the expanded format, we saw Alex Hill take 3rd place at a very large regional, playing this with Barbaracle. I've done a video about that, I'll pop a link in the description. Similarly, if you want to see the last couple of lists for the top 10 GXs, so you can see how it changes over time, I will pop them in the description as well. Its potential here, yes, it's already had a big finish, but the potential for Glaceon is absolutely huge. Glaceon's got a ridiculous ability, which means that your opponent's EXs and GXs lose their abilities. Not to mention the Sun and Moon Eevee, which means you can actually evolve this turn 1. You can evolve it straight away by attaching a water energy, and then your opponent loses their abilities from then until the end of the game, unless they can get your Glaceon out of the active without using an ability. This could completely shut decks down, and let's face it, everyone's using Tapu Lele at the moment. Usually it's a turn 1 wonder tag for a Bridget. That's fine, ladies and gentlemen, because all you need to do is get this up before your opponent has a turn. You go first and get it in the active, and then your opponent doesn't have Tapu Lele or anything else. It shuts off Zoroark's ability, which is huge. It's had a little bit of success, but I think it's only going to see more success in the future, and for that reason, I think it deserves a spot at number 6. But the top 5 spots, ladies and gentlemen, are reserved for cards which have seen a lot of success. In at number 5, Ho-Oh-GX. Ho-Oh-GX, I'm going to be honest with you, it kind of took a little bit of a hiatus. Now, it was number 7 last time round, so we did give it a little bit of props, but it's becoming better and better. One of the cards that dropped off of this list was Turtonator-GX, because people just aren't playing Turtonator at the moment. They are playing Ho-Oh. You use a Kiawe. On your first turn of the game, you get 4 energy on there, and then you just sit there hitting for 180 damage every turn. This is a card that basically has an unusable GX attack. No one ever uses it. And it doesn't matter, because how many other Pokemon can just do a flat 180 without having to use their GX attack? The answer is basically none. Choice Band puts it up to 210, and then you've got stuff like ZOROARK-GX falling straight away. There is so much power behind this card. People are even playing it with something like Wobbuffet to slow your opponent down, because if you get just a couple of Kiawes off here and get a couple of Ho-Oh rolling, although do remember you should also be using Max Elixir here, then you basically win against anything, because you're just taking a one-hit KO every turn. Such a powerful card, deserving of being at number 5. In at number 4, we have LYCANROC-GX, the Midnight form. Now, the attack here is fine, but the GX attack Dangerous Rogue is really good. 2 energy, and it does 50 damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. That is a very nice GX attack indeed. But really here, it's the ability. The ability is a Lysander. It just pulls one of your opponent's bench Pokemon into the active. It's great. Gusting effects have always been great. Now, Lycanroc isn't really a deck on its own. It has to be played with BUZZWOLE, but this ability and a better GX attack than BUZZWOLE has, yeah, this top cuts a lot of tournaments, and I see no reason why that should stop anytime soon. In at number 3, and I do think the top 3 are a cut above the other GXs. I think there is a big line here. Although I think this one is clearly at number 3. It's BUZZWOLE. A Pokemon that, like Lycanroc, wasn't even on last time's list. Whoopsie daisy. It's basically because it's nuts against Zoroark. We're in a format at the moment where Zoroark is absolutely rampaging and BUZZWOLE does a lot of damage while avoiding a one-hit KO. Not to mention the fact, of course, that using Strong Energy and Regirock-EX, you can very often do 60 damage on the first turn of the game, meaning that even these bigger Pokemon like Gardevoir, well, they evolve from routes. So you're getting a KO and doing 30 to the bench before your opponent has even had a turn to evolve. It's got the quick game, it's hitting the best weakness in the game at the moment. It's a great card, it's got to come in at number 3. In at number 2, and we could flip-flop 1 and 2. I am not going to be mad which order you put them in, but they're obviously 1 and 2. I'm putting Tapu Lele at number 2. Now, I put it as number 1 last time. I have apparently changed my mind, and the reason is this. Tapu Lele is played in every deck. But if you took Tapu Lele out of the format would basically be the same. We just all stopped playing Tapu Lele. It hasn't shaken up the format, but it is the best consistency card in the game. Wonder Tag, allowing you to search for any supporter card you like. It's brilliant, and it makes supporter cards viable that wouldn't be. Cards like Bridget did not see play before Tapu Lele came along. And Energy Drive's a decent attack as well, doing 20 damage for each energy attached to both active Pokemon, and you can use a double colorless to get this going, although it would be a bit better if it hit for weakness, although that would make BUZZWOLE a lot less good. Put it at number 1 if you like. This time, I'm putting it at number 2, because at number 1, we've got ZOROARK-GX, and it really depends whether you want to put a consistency card or a card that's shaken up the format in at number 1. But since Zoroark came out, it's Zoroark decks everywhere. Zoroark Golisopod wins a bunch of tournaments. Zoroark Gardevoir wins a bunch of tournaments. I mean, Zoroark Golisopod won the internationals in London, and Zoroark Gardevoir won the internationals in Sydney. And then we've seen tournaments won by Zoroark with Weavile. And I could keep going, but you get the point. It has completely shaken up the metagame. Tapu Lele is the best consistency card in the game at the moment and is played in every deck. But Zoroark has completely changed how the game is played in terms of, I mean, BUZZWOLE's only number 3 because it's a fighting type. If BUZZWOLE was a psychic type, it wouldn't be as good. It wouldn't be played as much. It is crazy how much Zoroark has changed the format, and for that reason, I'm putting it at number 1. I would not be at all surprised if you guys flicked them round, nor would I blame you. But the good news is, that's what the comment section is there for. So let me know which of these GXs is your favourite. Give me a full top 10 list. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Give me a full top 10 list. I would love it. You know that's the way I like it. Tell me cards you think I put too high. Tell me cards you think I put too low. Tell me which cards you think I left off the list entirely. Go nuts, but remember the rule. Be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWossy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and so on, you can do so over at patreon.com/PTCGRadio. And do check out Wossy Plays, because, you know, there's more stuff there. I think it's pretty good. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.